Come on, Chuck. Good boy, bud. Come on, Papas. Mom, I don't like those lights, Ma. You always mess me up with those lights, Ma. Yeah. Can you block you? Can you block them? There you go, bud. There you go. Good boy. There you go. Good boy, Paws. Good boy, lie down. Good boy. That blocks him, doesn't it? Yeah, he don't like those lights. I turn on the lights and he always goes and lays right over there. Get it, buddy. You get that comfy spot, my love. Good boy, Tuck. Good boy, sweet baby. Get out just right. So get in it just right, Mom. I'm doing it, Mom. Look at me. I get it. You go there and you go there and you part of the blanket go there. Good boy, Tuck. My little golden nugget. My little old man. He's 12 now. He and Artie are both 12 now. Luna, get a drink? I think I need a drink. To wet my whistle. Good girl. You good girl? Where'd you going? You want up in the chair? Yep. You went up on the chair.
Yeah, she did.
Did she? Oh, she jumped up by herself. Good girl. Her legs are like this long. They're very tiny. Hi, welcome to my tube. My name is Marge. I'm a Heyoka empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things, and I like to share stories on the way how my day goes, and just talk about life as I understand it, as I witness it, as I perceive it, as I relate to it, mine with other people's. This was in my pocket. They made me wear it today. I didn't. I didn't. Because I knew as soon as we... Okay, let's see. Let's start the day. What was the matter? Is Artie trying to get comfy? Benny's on the couch. Little love seat. Artie's on the bed. Okay, everybody's got their spot. Okay, everybody. How are you, Ma?
I'm fine.
How are you today? I heard you sneeze and I almost huffed it up to the little market to get those 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. You feel all right?
Yeah.
Just something in the air?
Yeah.
I guess? Good deal. Good deal. So I had a kind of interesting day. I went and talked to a psychiatrist, psychologist. I always get those. I forever have gotten those mixed up. One can prescribe. It's probably a one prescribes pills and one doesn't.
Oh.
That's the different. One has a notepad that they can. Yeah, and I that's what I let the guy do is I let him know. I'm not into pills, and I tried that route. I did what I was told, and it didn't work out. So that's how I get my knowing. Is okay, yeah, I'll try it. If it works, it works, and it didn't work. So I'm pretty anti-medication unless there's something like, I don't know. I don't even know. I'm like, what would be, I don't know. I guess I'd have to cross that bridge to it when I came to it, but I ain't into it to alter my mood or anything like that. There's too many other things that I can do to do that. If I don't have enough power or control over myself that I can't, then... Maybe one day I'll have to go that route, but today's not that day. So I left this morning. My appointment was at 10, and last time it took me 20 minutes when I went the other day to do labs. It took me 20 minutes to get there. And I was like, all right, cool. But today was different. So I gave myself 23 minutes, but then there was like slow cars. There's people that drive 5-10 miles under the speed limit, and the speed limits are only 45, 60. I live in the 90s. Taos, New Mexico is like living in the 90s. And so I was running late, so I opted to go to the back roads. And there's this one stretch, and the speed limit's 15 miles an hour. And I came around the corner. I was probably going like 30. No more than 35. And as soon as I came around the corner, I saw the state trooper. I was like, oh shit. As soon as I saw him, I pulled over off to the side of the road and I just waited. And sure enough, his freaking lights he turns around, his lights turn on. He didn't have no fun though, because I just was totally and he walked up. I said I was speeding. I got 5 minutes to get to the VA for a psychiatric appointment. That's what I said to him. He took my information and he went back to his car, and I was just like, all right, come on, just write it up. Let's just do this. I own it. Yeah, he's tried to say I was going 50. He clocked me as 50, and I was like, oh, no. 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 And then, so, I had all my stuff ready, my driver's, I just gave it to him and said what I said, and then he went back, and he came back, he's like, I'm just going to give you a warning today. And I was like, fucking what? Could you say that again? Like, I'm not the kind of gal that gets warnings, and I was just saying yesterday that I remember Marge Astrology asking her viewers, if the good things start happening, are you going to be ready and willing to receive it? And I was like, all right, okay, so now I got to change it. Now I got to have a change of heart. And I did talk yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, that about, because people just hear me just talk a lot of trash about certain things. And I try to keep it balanced. And I understand that there are good people in every group and every organization. It's just the ones that make it so crappy that it makes it the organization so crappy, So, he's like, okay, he said, just sign this here and I'll go back and I'll get you your copy. And I was like, all right. And then when he left, I looked at his name. I said, what, and he was a big guy. He was a pudgy guy, and yeah, I just have always remembered police as being like really clean shaven. He was a kind of a younger guy with beard. And it just reminds me that, people, there are always clubs, and I always wonder when they look up my computer, what it says. Because my insurance, this is it was really cool, because my insurance just went down after having a fender bender in Oregon, in 2019, or 16, rather, and so that finally came off. And so my insurance went down. So I'm really, I'm very grateful for the nice officer that didn't give me that ticket. I really think that stretch of road, because it's a back road, but 15. It's hard to drive 15 miles an hour. I wasn't driving. I deserved the ticket today. I would have just paid the ticket and gone on with my life, and just I drive like my grandpa. I used to be a speeder all over the place. It's a very, and when I pulled over, I did actually call the VA while I was waiting for him and told him I was getting pulled over and I'll be there as soon as I can. But they were fine when I got there, and I almost didn't go talk to the counselor, because he just was like a big Uncle Lester looking dude, and he didn't really feel very good. It was the woman, the receptionist, Beverly, that was like, oh, he's a nice man, you can go with him. And I was like, all right, okay, we'll just see how this goes. We talked for about, because I was probably 10 minutes late. I said, I'm not ordinarily tardy for my appointments, and I don't ordinarily get pulled over either, so this is just an out of the ordinary day. And when I first sat down, I was very stimulated. I was highly stimulated, and because they were trying to make me wear the mask, and he's like, okay, well, let's just see where you are. He's like, are you vaccinated? I said, well, they gave me 8 anthrax vaccines with freaking formaldehyde in it. So, in what, or you mean like this? I said, no, I haven't had a cold, sir, in 15, 20 years. Closer to 20 years now. So, yeah. I don't do vaccines and shots and pills. And I said, this is a, and he shared, went on to share some of his experience with me. Cause he was like when he was like in his mid-20s, he had a back surgery. And I'm like, yeah, I will never ever have a back surgery. Even if something happens and I end up in a wheelchair and all the AI and all the freaking wackadoos that say, we can fix you, we can fix you, we can make you better. No, I think this is a lesson that I was supposed to learn in life. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep learning my lesson. I ain't going to participate. See, that's the thing, is people don't have to participate, but people choose to participate in all these reindeer games. And it's just, I heard today that because they're starting to build their smart cities. They're doing or yesterday on What's Her Face's Daily, Marge, she was saying about how there's a place near around her in North Carolina, Asheville. She's in Asheville. In Asheville, North Carolina. They just rename. People aren't that clever, so they just they name different cities the same as they are in other states. So there's like, Lincoln, Nebraska, Lincoln, California, Lincoln, Nevada, there's, because it's just all redundant. So, Asheville, and they're moving a barn, like a big, I don't know if it's a dairy farm, what, but I wonder what's on that ground, what latitude and longitude is on that ground, because they're moving a barn that's been established and been there probably over 100 years, so they could build this big old smart community. And they've done the same thing. They're starting to do it all, because people like to be told what to do. There's a lot of people that just feel better, that their lives are secure if they are compliant and obedient. And I ain't one of those people. No, I'm not. Nope. So, anyway, it's happening. It's beginning. But I never really have too much faith in the technology in which these people create. Because, I look at all these run-down, empty buildings that are just like ghost towns and stuff like that. And I look at them, I'm like, yeah, that's what bureaucracy wanted, at some point. That's what bureaucracy wanted to create. And then they did it, and then they used it for a little while, and then they wanted something bigger and shinier with more gadgets. And so our taxes procured enough so that they can do that. And and I was got in a conversation because I was at the travel center. I wanted to get one of these because I haven't gotten one in a few days, several days, 4 days, 5 days. And since, I wanted one. So I stopped at the travel center, and there's a guy in front of me, and he said, I want $300 on pump 11. And I was like, this isn't out of the ordinary. So I asked him, I said, do you have an extra tank? I was like, why is it? I said, how long does that last you? That's what I asked him. I said, how long does that last you? He said, about a week. And I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, that makes sense. I said, well, that's not so bad. I said, yeah, well, actually, it still sucks because they just like to raise the prices. They make up stuff, man. They make us stuff and then freaking make regular people suffer for the crap that they make up. Like, they're just words. They're just words like inflation. People throw them out, and then it's, okay, now we can raise our prices. It's just, this world is weird. Of all the ways that we could have it, maybe they'll have their change of heart too, Maybe, anyway. So, what was I talking about? Oh, so the 300, the gas guy. And he said, and he goes, and I fill up 3 other trucks too. And I was like, okay, well, that's cool. He said he had a 100-gallon tank or something like that. And I was like, yeah, I think that's what he said. And then plus his tank. And then he had another 100-gallon tank on top of that. So, and then he's like swiping his card. And then the card swiping machine stopped. And the guy behind the counter is like, oh, yeah, it's froze up. You're not going to be able to use cards here at all now. And that's what they want to do, is they want to take cash away. The powers of, oh no, we've had cash long enough on this planet. Let's just make it all electronic. But they don't got the infrastructure for that, and they don't have the people to support it. So it's gonna be a lot of freaking. What are you gonna give? Are you gonna trust people? Are you just gonna make people go without what they need when the systems are down, or are you gonna trust them to give them what they need and then you can get that back later? I mean. Yeah, they already are, Mom. People are already gross. And then I got this email today from We the People Are Back. Where is it? I hope I didn't delete it or nothing. Hold on. Craptastic. I think I deleted it. Here it is. Nope. Okay, here it is. I found it. This is what they were trying to do in the city. You got these people that had just been here forever and ever and ever, and their families have been here forever and ever and ever, and then they get to sit in the chairs, and then they make decisions, and the decisions are just weird. See, because they're the same ones that have just they just have always been taken care of. They haven't gone through anything exceptionally difficult in their lives. I've seen them. You can tell. So, and they don't really work exceptionally hard on the improvement of themselves. That's adamantly clear also. So, this is what they were trying to do. They were trying to blitzkrieg of cameras. This is an article that Jeffrey Plant wrote November 2020. I'm glad that they rejected it. The Taos City Council rejected a proposal to install 7 surveillance cameras in Taos Plaza and several more cameras in Echo Park and Kit Carson Park. They were going to install up to 25. People can't freaking find places to live in this town. But they can come up with $975,000 to install cameras. That doesn't deter people from doing crimes. It doesn't deter people. All it does is it watches people so you can have the evidence after the fact. It doesn't keep people from causing harm. And people are becoming more and more disheveled. The evidence is just mounting. I listen to a lot of astrology, and I know where my placements are. And I know that there's days that I won't go out. And I know that there's planetary alignments in the sky that says don't fly, and I listen to those too. And I know that there's planetary alignments in the sky that says, hey, use that pause. I listened to 3 talks in the last 2 days. People I don't even ordinarily listen to because I want to get a broader scope of what the potential of what's happening in the collective. And and 2 of them said, it's going to be just keep your mouth closed. You don't have to say that. Just, don't, now is a time that people have a real good chance of saying that thing that they don't mean. Or that thing that they mean and they can't take back. That alters relationships and stuff like that. And then, see, I listen to the astrology, and then in social media and in my feeds and in just like mainstream media, that's where I see people's behavior playing out the astrology. Because everybody has a chance to rise above their astrology. They just don't always got the tools or the know-how to do so. And I was telling Mr. Psychiatrist, I said, I breathe all the time. I'm always breathing. I move, and I'm just, and nothing really came out of it. It's a paper trail, I mean, people always, I mean, there's always somebody out there might want to get you in trouble, so I just check in with professionals to let them, to just be like, well, does she have a history of violence? I don't got no escalating freaking, I don't have any pattern of behavior and all that stuff, My ego isn't growing. That's what they look for in people's behavior. Are they living more for them? Yeah, anyway, maybe we can recruit them. So, yeah, they wanted it, but they shot it down. But it's like, and then I think that they do the dog catchers and stuff in this town. The animal patrol people only make $13 an hour here. It's ridiculous. They can't bump them up to 20 or something like that. I mean, even people in McDonald's are making like more than that and stuff, and it's not the imbalance of things. People can help people. They just don't want to. So yeah, they were trying to do this without even letting the city know. The people, the constituents, the people that live here. It's like, oh, there's something new. Even the little towns do it. Let's get it because we can. Let's get it. Let's be like all the other cities. You want to be your own city and your own, have your own spirit and your own heart, but you want to be like everybody else. And then, what else happened today? Oh, I went to go get a haircut. And there was a barber and a beauty shop right next to each other. And there was like a guy in the chair and then like 3 other guys. And so I went in the beauty shop and a woman was getting her hair colored by the lady that owned the shop. And she was like, oh, right now I'm booked out until January. And I was like, and that's how they work around here. It's not like, see, when I lived in Omaha, I've known people have been stylish, They work like freaking 8 hours a day, I mean, they are booked and they are doing hair. That's not what it's like here. It's like, she probably came in at 10, started doing that color, she'll go get a bite to eat, maybe do one more in the afternoon and then call it a day because, oh, she works so hard, And that's how they do it around here. They just do whatever. There's no... But she did tell me we're another place where they had walk-ins, but I'll probably just ended up cutting my own hair again because... I mean, I usually go to freaking, like barbers and stuff, but it's a weird place, and sometimes I've gotten bad haircuts from machismos. So, guys that hate women like me, they just, I don't know, or just don't like me. I sit in their chair and they're just, meh. Like, I never seen them before, but whatever, we could be cool, but people have their preconceived notions or whatever. And so, I mean, I've had a handful of bad haircuts. Lots. Now that I think about it. So, I didn't get my haircut today. I'm making cookies tomorrow. I gotta pour out the butter here pretty quick. I made butter today. So I got these to make the cookies tomorrow. I bash them up. I put them in a bag and I make them and I bash them up. So we got the Ghirardelli peppermint bark. And then I got these. I'd never heard of these before. They're called Hugs. They're milk chocolate hugged by white cream. I got those because I bashed those up too and put them in cookies. And then I got these. This is a big bag. These are probably my favorite for around the winter's time because they're candy cane kisses. So I just like peppermint. Peppermint is like whenever I went to the movies, I get peppermint patties or junior mints. Peppermint that's why they have it like at Mexican restaurants and stuff like that at the hostess stand, is because it peppermint's good for stomach indigestion. When you got an upset stomach, pop a peppermint, and that should settle down your stomach a little bit. It could. If, I don't know, if you're receptive to it, if your body's open to it. The heater just went on, I think. I got out the electric heaters because we're going to have, the temperature after Monday, it's going to dip down. The highs are only going to be like in the 30s.
Oh, wow. It's going to be cold.
Yeah, so I brought the electric heater out because I got to plug this electric heater in for 5 minutes. It takes the chill out. And the electricity is a lot cheaper than the gas. So,
That's a very good thing.
yep, I'm all about the workarounds, you know. I ain't trying to give freaking companies, like, I've done talks with the Kit Carson utility company. The CEO makes like $160,000 a year. That's savings that can go back to the people. And it's not like he's the one that is out there digging ditches. No, he sits behind the desk. He probably watches YouTube videos all day. Yeah. Yeah. Because nobody works that hard on this planet anymore. They don't. Not even like the, no. The human race is definitely slowed to a stroll. It is definitely slowed to a stroll. Hey Stanley, how you doing, meow meow? Yes? You're the handsomest cat in the world? Are you the top 3?
Nice and light.
What is meow? He's my love cat. Yes, he's my love cat. Meow. She says, don't bother me. I'm a Stanley. He doesn't like being on the camera. Huh. He said, I'm not in the mood. Please leave me alone. I think you should leave me be. Meow meow. I got these new lights today. Some lady freaking left her cell phone. She was in front of me. She used the card thing and set her cell phone right there. And then she walked out the door, and then somebody called, and then I was like, oh shit, she left her cell. So I'm like running around the parking lot. Monica's calling you. Hello, because she had gray hair, but it was like this. I walked out and there was a woman sitting in her car who looked like her. She had like long gray hair, so I just kept seeing these women with long gray hair, and I couldn't tell which one it was her because wasn't like focusing on her. And so finally, I walked down the row, and this woman was like, I could tell she was looking for something, you know. And then she started to get out of her car. And I was like, Monica's calling you.
What did she say?
She's like, oh, thank you.
How nice.
So, and something else that happened, because I frequently talk about, you know, the inability that people are having these days more and more to not lose their shit, basically. I was listening to, my friend, a girl I went to high school with, she was a year ahead of me, and she actually was a miracle because she had like had a cardiac event when we were in high school during school, right in front of my locker, between like third and fourth period. And the paramedics had to come and took her away, and she was like been without oxygen for a few minutes. So she was it changed her mind, right? But she always had a good heart. Well, she didn't literally have a good heart, but she had a good heart. I mean, she was always like a cool chick. You know? I mean, she was always a nice girl. You know, she didn't screw people over. You know, she just was kind of. It did change her. It changed her personality, though. It did. It was like she was slower. It was like she was like, I don't know. It was like she became more, childlike almost, I guess, like kind of thing. But she wasn't immature or anything like that. I know that because I know what immaturity is. I know a lot about it. Anyway, but she got just like posted on Facebook about how she just got robbed. Somebody stole her wallet, and then 2 days ago, she was in Yuba City, and somebody stole her backpack. And it's just I'm like, it's just getting brutal. It's just getting ugly. I mean, you know, if people don't have like families to be with and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like if you like, I have a reason to be at home. You know, and I don't really like being out. I mean, I went to the concerts. I've done all the, I've done all that 3D shit, and it's lost its value in my mind. And oh, I was speaking about the things that you can't take back. I haven't listened to one of Zach's lives in a while. I peeked in the other day, and I was like, oh, well, okay, all right. You know, because he bought his new house and stuff like that. And and I was listening to him today, and he had a hater hotline. It was called Hater Hotline. So all the people that hate him, he invited them to call in and give point, like, okay, tell me why you hate you, kind of thing. And then people would, and he would like talk over them. And one guy's like, are you just going to talk over me, or are you going to let me talk? And he's like, no, you can talk. And as soon as the guy would start talking, Zach would just blah, 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 just say so. No, that's not true. And it's just like, and one guy, it was funny because I felt like, I was relating to the guy. He's like, dude, you're proving my point. He related him to like this character on a TV show in season 5 where he changed. He was like he was doing something in more of like for a good reason, and then he kind of turned into the villain kind of thing. And so he made that comparison. I thought that was kind of funny. But you can't I know what it's like to freaking turn people off with my words and talking trash about people and stuff like that, you know? And I'm not trying to have a big old huge community like he is, or I'm not trying to do what he's trying to do, you know? So I don't know. But I could see why his support has dropped off, honestly. You know? I would be, if I ever worked with him, I'd be afraid of him getting pissed off and then talking shit about me on YouTube. You know what I mean? You know? I mean, because it seems like a lot of the people that he is, like, had some sort of more than, like had a kind of a personal relationship with, you know, where he's met these people. I mean, I don't know. It started for me with when he put freaking what's her face on blast. This chick, I don't remember her name, but when he like and was like talking about like her parenting and stuff like that, I was like, no, that there's no. That's when I was like, nah, this is. And then he started doing lives less, and you know, had to buy his house for his girlfriend and all that stuff, you know. And which always brings it. I mean, people are gonna they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it whether it's in this lifetime or incarnations to come. They will get it. They might not want to do it or live that way, but if you ever want to have a peaceful, joyful life, you gotta freaking do things for other people, right? You have to. And my goal is, if I ever get an opportunity, one of the things that I want, I mean, I got all kinds of ideas on how to help people. I just don't know how to get through the people that give themselves the authority to designate if these are good ideas or not. And usually they're not, because they didn't have them themselves. Right? How many times have freaking I put our ideas out there someplace, and then somebody else does, oh, that's not a good idea, and then somebody else does it. That has happened so much in my life, man. And then people don't, and I'm not looking for credit. Like, I'm not here to try to make a gazillion dollars. I just want to freaking put people in shelter, you know, have the people that want to live in a house. I want them just people that have a place to live if they want to live in. If you want to be a traveler and do all that freaking that crap that goes with it, because it's. I mean, people think it's cute on YouTube and stuff like that. That is not. I don't want to live that way. You know, and now they're making it harder. Like they used to be, like you could crash at like the parking lot at Walmart and stuff like that. And now there's security. Now Walmart has hired security, so So people are getting more window knocks. You know, you can't stay here. They can't stay in rest stops. Overnight camping in rest stops. You can't sleep in your. I mean, come on. These control freaks are just. It's like they just like making it hard for people to live. It's bizarre. So, but things are changing. I can honestly say the last two exchanges I had with police officers now were positive. Because the last time I got pulled over is when I left Oregon. He said I was going across the lines because I was the only one on the road. It was like 2:00 in the morning and I had a trailer. So, but he just escorted me back to the Walmart in Klamath Falls, Oregon, and so I could sleep for an hour. But yeah. So, you know, I don't think I mean, there are a lot of good people. There's just a lot of people out there that kind of that don't live from their goodness, you know, because they have bills to pay for all these other 3D reasons and whatnot. I understand how things are shifting. I understand. I get it. So, anyway, I think I've talked long enough. All in all, it was a pretty decent day. But it feels like there's something else I was going to talk about, but I guess it is not meant to be. Huh, pretty girl? What you think? You gonna go back up on the chair?
Girl. Good girl.
Sweet girl.
You can do it. Yes, you can. Good girl.
Mom, you're a good cheerleader, Ma.